got the recipe, and I kept receipts. The smell, it covers me. Mods only weed. I just chopped the tree. I didn't stop to breathe. I couldn't stop my greed. It hit me like I'm Creed. No, the game is like I cheat.
Yo, this is the Good Drugs Podcast, Pod Chat, and this is episode 84. Episode 84, this is brought to you by South Collective, and shout out AD and Gorilla Mafia family, and Shooters Davis. Damn, who's Shooters Touch? That's crazy. Shout out Shooters Touch too. Shooters Davis, this is brought to you by Shooters Davis. Everybody's a shooter. Shout out all the shooters, all the snipers. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I got some more shit to get into. I know I had went over like books and shit like way back in the podcast, but I got more books. I got more shit to go over and just more shit to go over. So yeah, good drugs.
Gorilla Mafia family.
And we are black, BLACK in this bitch, like the planes, 9/11, all that good shit. And so I was notified. Well, I already knew this shit, but I was notified by these streaming services that one of my episodes got flagged and shit. Before I go, I'm supposed to shout at anybody? I don't think so. My fault, I just got distracted. But yeah, so episode 32 got flagged and shit. And AD said it was for music, quote unquote, but I got music in like every episode, so I don't get that. But anyways, I looked back on the episode to what the fuck I talked about, because I was like, well, what did I talk about? Why is this shit being flagged? Like, what was talked about, what was played and shit. So maybe like the Aaliyah song, but I played Aaliyah songs. Like, I'm just putting this out there because it's bothersome. But yeah, I played Aaliyah songs like a couple times before, and it's never got flagged, and that one did get flagged. But I talked about the before I go on, and explain my stories and all this good shit. So get your blunt, get your bong, get your it's time when you get all your good shit. And matter of fact, this time, guess what, y'all? The cameraman brought the weed, bro. How about that? That's crazy. It's the first time. Like, not he brought the weed, but just like anybody like came here and was like, hey, whatever, it's cool. Get your blunt, get your weed, get your bong, get all your good shit, your papers, your hash, your oh, that reminds me. Oh yeah, get your edibles, get all your good shit, light up, and good drugs. I just thought about some shit. But yeah, so black codes, because I'm just gonna go over it again because it's bothersome that like people can't hear this shit, and I feel like I went over this before, but I don't know what episode. But 32 stuck out because that's when I got flagged. So here we go. So black code laws, they were restrictive laws designed to limit the freedom of African Americans. It's just good because Black History Month too, so why not? Fuck it. Limit the freedom of African Americans and ensure the availability as a cheap labor force after slavery was abolished during the Civil War. Through the Union, victory had given some 4 million slaves their freedom. The question of freed blacks' status in the post-war South was still very much unresolved. And under black codes, many states required blacks to sign yearly labor contracts, so they were still slaves. If they refused, and they risked being arrested, fined, and forced into unpaid labor. Outrage over black codes helped undermine support for President Andrew Johnson at the time and the Republican Party. And yeah, so in the black code laws basically turned into Jim Crow and what had people not free until 1965, quote unquote. But yeah, I just felt like I had to be put out there again because it got flagged and I don't like that shit. So yeah, good drugs. And we are black and back. And so yes, I went over like a lot of books. I'm not sure what I went over. I probably should have wrote this list down. I'll do it this time, so I won't like go over the same books and shit. I'm pretty sure I'm not going over the same books because niggas still got my books. I want my books. Ailey got my books. He got like 5 of my books. Money got like 3 of my books. I need my books. Like, I understand. Like, I gave my books out. I'm nice. Like, we brothers and shit, and it's cool. But give me my books back. Like, I want my books. So I guess it's featuring a read. Oh, but whatever. So I got books. I got more books. We gonna go over it. And if you're watching this shit, I'm gonna try to show. Fuck it, I'm not gonna try to show you. I'm gonna tell you, and you can just go. I keep doing that. You can just go. Go research and get the book. So where am I start? I'm gonna start my Kindle because I didn't have my Kindle last time. That's what happened. So where do we finna? All right. So the first book I think I talked about this, but I didn't have my Kindle. That's what it was. I'm having malfunctions on my Kindle. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm not what's this shit called? Technical in whatever. So seven little white lies. The conspiracy to destroy. Fuck my Kindle. Whatever. The conspiracy to destroy the black self-image. It is by Jabari O. Says. This book is about basically like naming a whole bunch of lies, like for instance, like Columbus discovered America, which we all know he didn't, but this is like in great detail about that and more. Also with the black people's contribute to society and shit. Like he's giving like power and acknowledgement. Huh? Say it out loud. Contribution to.
That is not the word. Sorry.
What's not the word?
It's contribution, not contribute.
I said contribution.
You didn't.
I did. If I said contribute, I'm pretty sure the thing would tell me, and y'all would tell me and be like, you didn't say that shit. But I'm pretty sure I did. But if I didn't, fuck it, contribution. So 7 white lies, Brian Hayes. Moving on. So I have a whole like book series. It's by Walter Mosley. We came in this store. We was in a store. We came across it. Who cares? I came across a book called Black Betty, right? And I started reading it. My fault. So I remember. Sorry. Now I do remember on the first book shit edition, I was talking about the spook who sat by the door, and this story, this Walter Mosley, it's about Easy Rawlins, a mystery character that he's made up, and this is like around like that same time period. So a lot of the language and a lot of the time stamps, you would say, of like shit going on around the fucking story. I can't think of the word right now. That's crazy. I don't want to actually podcast, so I have to think of words. But all the events going around the story have everything to do with like the time period. So it's really like informative. And me reading history and shit, it just connects all these dots and shit. So Walter Mosley, Black Betty. There's a whole bunch of other books. The Devil in a Blue Dress, which actually became a movie with Denzel Washington. I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen that. That was actually a book first. And yes, Walter Mosley. So moving on to more books. And what I have with me, finally, I talked about the Stolen Legacy about George James, right? And I didn't have it with me. It was in my motherfucking Kindle over here. And yeah, I was talking about it, but I bought it in my Kindle and I had to buy an actual physical copy because it has pictures and shit in it and illustrations. But this was like the first one that I was recommending. I think Money might have been sitting with me when I was talking about books and shit. But yeah, this is like the first book that I would recommend like anybody that's interested about like where the fuck do you come from? Like Stolen Legacy, George James, good drugs. And we are back, all that good shit. with these books and shit. As you see, I get carried away. I got more books, but I'm not gonna keep going. I'm gonna stop after these books. So more contagious. This book is like one that I'll probably like read like at least twice a year, just because shit's just that good. Like if you're into anything, like you want to sell anything legally, or like strategize, all that shit, like that shit is more than just like packaging up shit, which we all know, but it's like a whole, like there's a reason why fucking Amazon became Amazon, you know? It's just like certain levels to this shit. Fuck it. All right, so moving on. I talked about this book. I think when Money was here, I was like recommend this nigga book somehow on the pod. Hold on. So, how the Jews invented Hollywood, Empire of Their Own. I actually talked about this, I think, on one of the last episodes. But it's by Neil. My fault. The Contagious is by Jonah Berger. Empire of Their Own is by Neil Gabler. It's basically how I've been talking about. Like racism and shit exists. Like don't get it fucked up. That shit's alive, walking and talking. But like the more so reason why like people get ahead in like certain fields and shit is more so of like a culture. Like they make a culture, a standard, a culture, and they just follow that culture, and you're not a part of that culture, you don't get in. Like I was talking about how like chevrons and shit, I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in the South, chevrons and shit are usually owned by like Arabs and Indians from like India and shit like that, usually, and 7-Elevens too, for the most part. But it's because or even like nail shops, like with Koreans and shit, like they developed a culture. Like Contagious actually talks about like the first Korean lady who decided, you know what, there's a need for people getting their nails done. Come over here, I'm gonna make nail shops. Tell all my people about it. Come over here and make nail shops. Like they developed a culture. It wasn't like more so of a oh, you're white, so you can't do nails, or you're black. Like, nah, go make your own nail shop. Like it's a culture type thing. So Empire of Their Own, it's about Jews and shit and how they made Hollywood entertainment like a culture, or even like doctors with the Chinese and shit like that, or technical or technology and Chinese people and shit like that. Like it's a culture. So yes, Empire of Their Own. My fault. Moving on. And last but not least that I'm gonna cover is it's called Black Indians, a Hidden Heritage. It's by William Katz, and I know I've been talking about just like history and shit. And as I've been talking about history, I've been reading more history. And as I read more history, it became clear that, and this book explains a lot of it. So the Stolen Legacy explains a lot of it, that a lot of the black people that are over here, came over here, are over here, were already over here. They were already over here, and they were Indians. So Black Indians is just going through like different Black Indian tribes and shit, like Seminoles and shit of this nature, and just putting shit more into perspective of, because understand like they're not a different they're not a different humanoid people. Like Indians and Africans would still be a part of the Negroid humanoid species, people, races, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So Black Indians, a Hidden Heritage, William Katz, great book. I got more books and shit, but I'm not gonna keep going over books. But y'all niggas gonna get these books, dog. Any book that stuck out to you. If you need a book, any recommendations of any type of, like, I got like psychological books, like all type of books. There's just books on books on books. I like books. Fuck it. Anything else? I'm a little. No, nothing else. I think that's it. So this is the Good Drugs Podcast, Pod Chat. Keep running the Rebaby, Break It Back Up, Break It Back, along with Mafia Money, his project, Gorilla's Heart.
You should know that.
I did know it. A Gorilla's Heart. I was making, because he has a Gorilla's Vision coming. This was the Good Drugs Podcast, Pod Chats, episode 84. This is brought to you by Up South Collective. Shout out to nigga AD. I gotta talk to nigga AD. And Gorilla Mafia Family and Shooters Davis. And I guess probably 3 too, because she's in the room and she set up lights and shit. And yeah, y'all niggas stay up, be safe, stay dangerous. Good drugs.